Ken again with Xmods Gaming. Today we're going to take a look at this Wii Remote. The D-pad hasn't been working, and for some reason it's hard to sync it up. So we're going to just, show how to repair one of these and, kind of show a teardown of it. So let's go ahead and get started. So, what you're going to need is possibly some white vinegar. I have mine in a spray bottle, some isopropyl alcohol in a spray bottle, or you could just, Q-tips. I like to get a 300 pack from the dollar store. Optional, compressed air. Some people like to use that. And then, another option is a tri-wing screwdriver. Well, it's not optional, but you're going to need one. This one is the Hyper Tough 77-piece electronics repair kit from Wally World or Walmart. I call it Wally World. So not sure what tri-wing, probably one of the smaller ones, but you want to take the battery cover off. And this one I got from a pawn shop for like $25 or $20 maybe. Kind of talked them down because it's a Luigi one, so I guess these ones go for a lot of money. I told the guy I just want it to play my Wii, because for some reason I had a lot of Wii remotes that just wound up missing over the years. So that one's a little too small. I'm gonna go with this bigger tri-wing tip. Yeah, this one's a 0 tri-wing, a Y0. That's if you get the same kit. You can also go to iFixit's website and get a similar screwdriver, probably a higher quality one. This whole screwdriver kit probably cost me like $15 from Walmart. And then what you want to do is kind of separate the screws. Yeah, see, this might not get down in there. And those are tri-wing as well. Let's see if I can find my other screwdriver. You can get one of these on eBay. Probably Amazon. This is a screwdriver that I have for the Game Boy screen mods. Wow. It's kind of a struggle with this one. So just keep in mind you need something that has a longer kind of shaft. Okay, so it's already kind of coming apart right now, and because it's been in a pawn shop, I don't know if they had a problem with it and they tried to fix it. Some pawn shops do that. Some pawn shops don't care. I think the reason why pawn shops do that is, you know, if okay, I don't want to scratch it. Probably use a guitar pick. So what I'm doing is trying to loosen the fasteners up here. Along the side, kind of just clips together. I got buttons and stuff already falling out. Wow, that's pretty tough. And it's kind of worth it because it's harder to find controllers. And these are always a struggle. And look for another pry tool. Kind of wants not to use metal because it might mar it up. All right, I'm just gonna not make this video too long. I'm just gonna go ahead and try this off camera. All right, so what I end up doing is just kind of putting pressure on these two halves, and then just kind of putting my guitar pick style, which comes with this kit, through there. And there's 2 tabs right here that's doing that. And right away, if you guys, let me get it towards the camera, you can see where there's corrosion right here, and a little bit of corrosion where I said the D-pad was affected. So I'm going to try to fix that up. So I think the best thing to do is try to get this circuit board out of its housing. And I'm just going to use this pry tool to do it. And then, just examine everything. If this IR window's all nasty, you can clean that out. I think I remember doing this a long time ago, one of my older videos, which wasn't very good. I think this whole part is, I would try to avoid to remove this unless you have a reason to, but I think it was kind of a pain. But I think that one had a spring, but let me look under it. Yeah, it'll probably be good just to clean it and then snap it back together. So I'll just go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna spray some IPA right on it. And for those that don't know, IPA is just rubbing alcohol. Get 91% is what I recommend. If you could find it, you can probably go online and get 99%. So this does look kind of grody. And right there's the IR sensor itself. Let me get that in camera right here. So I might even try to clean that. Wow, there's just a lot of corrosion on this. It looks like someone Must have spilled something in here. Wow. And this is where your vinegar kind of comes in. I'm going to, right here, have some kind of corrosion. Wow, you could really see the vinegar attack that. Just let it sit on there for a few seconds. And I would say with Wii controllers, they're kind of prone to battery leakage. So kind of the best practice with Wii remotes is take the, especially if you're using alkaline batteries, just pull them out of the controller. Also, the battery life. That's what I hate about the Wii remotes. The batteries like to drain on their own. Okay, so I'll just leave this. I don't even know what that is. What is that? Some kind of microphone or something. So leave that intact if you can. All right. I'm going to get my rubbing alcohol or isopropyl alcohol. And we're just going to soak up the I'm going to get some blue towel as well. This is just automotive blue towel. Eventually, I'm going to need to buy some more alcohol. All right. Yeah, and there's a lot of corrosion with this little sensor. Yeah, for some reason these pads are and you could tell, I was kind of doing this off camera, whoops. So you could tell where these pads are. I'm gonna just bust out the multimeter, put on continuity mode. And what I'm doing is I'm just going where the part of the corrosion is. Yeah, this one's really corroded. Huh. A little unfortunate. What I'm going to try is my fiberglass pen. You can get these on Amazon. Let's see if I could scratch away. All this pin has is fiberglass. So it's good for, I think a lot of craft people use this, but it's good for like scratching up surfaces, or if you need to like put a bodge wire in, it's good for that. Oh, and here's a battery contact. That fell out, so that's pretty corroded as well. So we got a lot of corrosion in here. So what I'm going to do for the kind of the IR sensor, now this is optional, it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to reflow those solder joints. So I'm just going to turn on my iron. And then I'm going to put some flux down. I'm going to clean this up real quick. Probably never going to be perfect, but okay, so I got my flux. Looks like right now I have my blade tip in here. So I'm just gonna just kind of touch up these solder joints. Should probably hooked up my fan. Probably just gonna reflow some new solder on there. Because it would turn on, but it wouldn't sync. So I don't know if that's part of the problem. Is this corrosion? Okay, now I'll spray some more IPA. Some IPA on there. I want to clean these up more. Man, making me sneeze. All right, so looking good so far. Still have some corrosion over here. Yeah, this battery post looks good. And let's see. Yeah, I don't know about this sensor, but try to clean that sensor off. But all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and soak this in some vinegar. It's cleaning vinegar. You can also use white vinegar. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'm just gonna put it back together. All right, looks like we have the corrosion worked out. So there was some on the back side of here that I used white vinegar or cleaning vinegar to get it. And then what I do is kind of just to neutralize that acid, because when you have battery corrosion, you have acid that you have to neutralize, and then you have to neutralize the acid of the vinegar. So in other words, if you put vinegar, if you use vinegar, I'm trying to say, so if you use vinegar, then you're going to have to neutralize that vinegar. So I just use isopropyl alcohol to neutralize the vinegar, clean it up, because you don't want to make the corrosion any worse than it was. Now it kind of goes to show, anytime you get a Wii Remote, it's probably good to take it apart if it's used, because as you can tell, you can't see any corrosion from here. So you would literally have to take the Wii Remote apart just to get a good look at it. See, there's a little sign of it down in here. So I'm sure the place I bought it from, they're like, oh, there's battery corrosion. So they cleaned it up and then, just put it out to sell. And this purchase I got a while ago, so it's nothing new. And it seemed to work pretty good for the first few years. Wow, that's a big cap. They got a big capacitor in here. Looks pretty good though. What is that? It's like, oh, it's a 3,300 microfarad cap in there, huh? So it's a lot of cleaning. And for these, I just like to put it down some IPA on there. And this just helps these carbon pads that are on the D-pad buttons. Just want to clean them up. That way they'll make a better connection. Kind of soak up this alcohol a little bit. And that seems to go on there like that. So what I'll probably do, give this another clean. I want to say I had a Wii Remote. It had a spring trigger, so that's why it was not recommended to take it off, if I remember right. And let's see. Okay, it goes like that. Oh, okay, you got to go through that hole. And your D-pad kind of fits on there like that. It's a good opportunity to come in here and clean everything. And then for this, I did go back with my multimeter on continuity. This one's still pretty corroded, but I think I have enough to for it to work. So it'll probably be way better. All right, so, and this battery contact, I just soaked it with some vinegar, and it'll start fizzing up to get the battery corrosion off of this contact. And this just kind of goes, I think, right here onto the Wii Remote, and then makes a connection somewhere. And I used one of my wire brushes to scrub it up some more. So the hardest part is actually putting all the buttons back where they go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll get it back together. All right, so I got halfway through this, realized where this goes, because I thought it was just a press fit contact, but the leg on the other side has broke off. And I just referenced this controller to get all the buttons back in. So somehow I'm going to have to solder that. And there's barely enough to really even solder to. But that's my only thing I can think of doing. So I'll give it a shot here. I'm going to try to crank up my iron to, I don't know, 360. We'll try that. So I'm going to put some no clean flux down. And it keeps tipping over. So I think I'll get some capped on tape. And I use some thinner. That's stuff I was looking for, is the thinner stuff. So I got a giant roll Kapton tape, which has a higher melting point than like packing tape or Scotch tape. So it's used in a lot of soldering. So you can buy this off of Amazon. And I'm sure you can go online and find a whole and my goal is just to kind of get it enough, stick down just enough to hold it upright. Clean my tip. It's getting pretty hot. And try to get it from the bottom too, because what's left is this tab. So just corroded right off with the battery corrosion. Okay, that's probably the best I can get it. So yeah, this is not doing too good. So what I'm going to do is probably just add a wire or maybe just order the part. All right, so what I end up doing was soldering a piece of component leg to it. And then I'm going to just put it in there. So I have a bunch of like scrap component legs that I like to use from time to time. So I'm going to try to make it even. So I put it back into its little position here. And I'm going to solder it to the board. So I'm going to poke it through. So I would say that's the biggest problem, is trying to get it even. And let's see if I can pull it up. Try to get it as flat as possible. Pull this up. All right, so I have the piece of the component leg sticking out right there. All right, so I'm going to try to solder it on. and take it back out. Okay, it's on there pretty even. It's going to be a little bit weak just because, but if it's in, I feel like if it's in here, then it should be good to go. Oh, now this piece fell back out. Okay. And then just get a Q-tip and some IPA and clean that off. Oh, whoops, cleaning the wrong thing off. All right. It's a little flimsy, but once it's assembled, I think it will hold up pretty good. I'm just going to clean these buttons one more time real quick. Because now I have flux everywhere. All right, looks flush. That's what it looks like on the bottom. And then just make sure you have all your buttons. Then again, I had to use another Wii controller to kind of reference. I'll put everything back together. Okay, and then we're going to get our screws. Man, I got stuff everywhere. Probably a good idea just to buy that piece if you have the same problem I have, but as long as it makes electrical connection, that's all that kind of really matters, because it was working for a while. I think we played Tiger Woods Pro Golf or whatever. Yeah, make sure your buttons are making good contact. Everything's kind of snapped in. Okay. Yeah, I'm not missing anything. Power button doesn't want to go down. So it's a little loose. But yeah, we have all the screws in and everything. But I guess I'll test it out, see how it goes. That's Ken with Xmods Gaming with another controller cleaning video and repair. So please rate, comment, subscribe. Until next time.